Hi, it's Melanie, and welcome to another reading update slash what we read in the month of March and what we're going to be reading on the month of April. I have previously recorded this video with a lot more content, and when I was about to edit it, I noticed that the video was a complete disaster. So I decided to re-record the video again. So you'll be seeing this video around the same day that I'm recording it, although most of the information kind of happened towards the last week of March. So just bear with me as we catch up with the actual timeline. So today is April 3rd, 2023, and we're going to be talk about the books that I have read for the month of March. Starting with Shadow and Bones is the first book of a trilogy in which we can also see a Netflix show that recently season 2 came out. I think it was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and I finished book 1. At first I was a little bit of like, should I watch the show first, should I read the video, should I read the book? My best friend recommended this for me, and at the end she told me mostly that she wanted me to watch the show. She hasn't read the book series, so I told her that there's a trilogy and that the book is definitely worth reading. So at the end I ended up reading the book alongside actually watching the show. So I believe I gave this a 5 stars, or was it a 4 point? I think it was a 4.5. Yeah, it was a 4.5 stars, just because I'm getting to know everybody, and the similarities between the book and the shows, they were not as many, but it's understandable because screen adaptation is very different from, the rest of the actual book. Moving along into the second book that I physically read, it was Cress, which is the third book of our Lunar Chronicles. As you might know from my previous videos, who you're following along with me, this is the third book, and I finally finished it. I was so impressed at the way they came together at the end. If something I am in love with Maritza and this entire Chronicles is the way that she ends up completing the scenes in which our main characters were all split apart, and all of a sudden they found each other in the perfect, more seamless timeline. And it's so exciting when they finally get back together and the crew, and there's a new member. As we know, each book there's a new member that is part of the crew. And I just love the way Maritza interprets the whole scenarios, that you get excited along with the characters. So that's one of my favorite things about it. We finished Crest, and I was sad because I decided to read the fourth book, which is Winter, all the way in winter, because also I wanted to do, I don't know, name correlation. Also because I wanted to wait for my best friend. She is currently reading Crest, and she started a little later than me, although she started the series first than I did, because I got into the series because she told me to. But we finally got to reach book 3, so I'm waiting for her to finish it, and then we're gonna pick up together. Hopefully I will start Winter by winter, and yeah, we'll get more excited about Chris. I gave this one definitely a 5 stars. As we all know, the entire Chronicles so far for me has been a 5 stars. The third book that we are currently reading is A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm right now on page I'm on chapter 24. I'm on chapter 21, and this book is, I first picked it up because it has a similarity to my favorite Disney movie, which is The Beauty and the Beast, and I wanted to read something similar that will give me more. And this is book 1 of the entire series. I don't know how many books this series has, to be honest, but up to now it started as a YA fantasy, and then it's been categorized as starting from book 3 forward as an adult fantasy. So I am really excited to continue with the series. So far I am loving the entire book. I have minor complaints about the characters and the main characters and the characters that are all around it, mostly because I'm getting to know the entire system. But I do love there's a lot of little details that people don't realize that are so connected to Beauty and the Beast. Is insane. Because I was watching the movie not too long ago, and I realized there's a few things when it comes to the main character, her family, that are very related to the book. And I just love that whole little, I don't know, let's just say like honor to the movie. I just love it, and I love that it has a lot more. So this is what we're currently reading now. We also currently is going to start the following book, which I'm so excited to announce that we finally got book 3 of the Shatter Me series. I am so excited because I ended up book 2, so it was so many emotions I couldn't let go. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So it took me a while before I ordered book 3 because I wanted to linger around the thoughts of the second book. The second book was just so much going on towards the end that I was just like, oh my god, like I can't start book 3. But at the same time, you kind of want to start book 3, but because I was reading more books before that, I couldn't really continue it. So we're going to pick up this book for the month of April. So moving along, what we're going to be reading in April, we're going to be reading the Unite Me book, which is book 3 of the Shatter Me series. Then we're going to be reading Harry Potter book 2, because I decided to read a Harry Potter book every month until I finish the series again, because I haven't read the Harry Potter book since I was like 10 years old. So I really want to read them all. And I got the whole pretty collection that has like, you know, the whole little, everything forms the castle, and it looks very pretty, and it's very pretty on my bookshelf, but I want to read it, so let's just do that. So we're also going to be reading book 2 of Harry Potter. We also have our TBR for this month. We're going to be reading Prince of Never, which is going to be as an audiobook for me. I saw this book in a thrift store actually, and it kind of caught my attention, but I didn't purchase it that day because I wasn't sure if I wanted to invest money on it, because honestly speaking, I love books. I read every genre. I don't mind. I will get any book and I will read it. They don't have to be popular. But at that particular moment, I was thinking about, okay, 2 weeks ago I bought like 5 books and they're all in my TBR, and that book is not particularly my style, so I didn't know if I was gonna like it, and I didn't want to take it away from nobody, that people that were in the store that they were already looking at the book. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just see if I can find it in audiobook, and I found it in audiobook, so I actually got it in audiobook. So moving along to, don't mind my camera, I was moving. Moving along to another book that I did finish over the month of March, which I forgot to mention, was Amenko Uba. This is the story of a man who was old and grumpy, and he was tired about life. He just wanted everything to be calm. He just wanted people to follow the rules, to do the right thing. And he just wanted to die. He wanted to die and go with his wife, who had already passed away. He wanted to be at peace. But yet somehow he ends up mingled in this whole neighbors and friendship and new people that he got to meet, and these little kids that are now his new neighbors, and they just kind of make him part of their family without him realizing it. And he kind of needed that. He needed that to realize that even if people that you love are already gone and you feel like there's nothing left for you, there's still people out there who are part of your family, and they don't have to be blood related, or they don't have to be necessarily know you for the longest. As long as you guys share common interests and they're willing to just be kind to one another, they're also family. So that's another beautiful story by Frederick Buckman. I was so excited to read it. I actually audiobook, I didn't bought it, I audiobook. And I know a lot of people has a lot of comments between like, oh, if you listen to the book, you didn't really read it. To me, I read it. It doesn't make a difference, because in the same app, you can actually follow along as you listen to. So I'm actually reading, okay, bear with me. And this is pretty much the update on the books that we have read, and we are going to be reading for the month of April. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be reading one more book, which is the book that is going to be for our book club with my dear friend Base Book Club. She is amazing at picking books every month, and I'm so excited to really start the book with her that we're going to start on this month of April. I believe for the month of March we read Cloud Cuckoo Land, which I did finish. Another book that I did finish. I actually, most of the time, I audiobook the books from the book club because I don't get time to really go pick it up in the physical store before they release it. So I usually get it on audiobook. And that book was insane, especially if you're listening to it, which I can imagine if it was difficult for me to understand it when I'm listening to it, I can imagine when I'm actually trying to read it. But this is pretty much the update. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. The upcoming video is gonna be a vlog of the entire week and how I was reading the books that I was going along and my reaction. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy.